Talking a bit about the clients and people who are, originally buying the data and are now looking at that execution play. Do you have I guess kind of a typical avatar of your current clients? Is there a spectrum? Who's buying the product is what I'm asking.
So right now it's largely targeted towards quant and systematic mid to high frequency hedge funds that are typically crypto native. So they have a lot of experience in this space. They've been trading for quite a while, typically like maybe 3 to 5 years in the space. And they've been able to weather numerous events in the space, including the FTX collapse, and dealt with various forms and pieces of trading infrastructure and service providers. So what we've seen in the space is, and especially the evolution of interests on the trading infrastructure side, is there's been an increasing demand towards demanding that institutional grade service that they haven't been able to receive. And a lot of them, as I said earlier, have had to build in-house. So there's that growing frustration that exists because they can't capitalize on the opportunities in front of them due to the high barrier to generate alpha on the fee side, the privacy components, which their own LPs and investors are not comfortable with. And then on the execution side, they're pressured to take average execution, which is not of the service that they demand, really. Mm-hmm. So as big players start to come into the space, a lot of these smaller crypto native funds with 10 to 50 million in AUM, but they do like 1 to 5 billion in monthly turnover, they're getting slowly cornered out and squeezed out of the market. And that'll gradually occur. And for any market, I mean, we'd like to see the most amount of participants as possible. And seeing the big players come in while the smaller players getting cornered out isn't totally favorable. But we can have both at the same time. It just takes the proper infrastructure to do it. Mm-hmm. So that's what we aim to facilitate. And I mean, we're also able to facilitate that for those big institutional players. Mm-hmm. So it's really like evening the playing field. So we're providing small and big clients with that execution quality that they need. And then we're also providing those centralized venues and other trading venues with the volumes that they need to grow as well. So it's really creating a win-win and collaborative environment mm-hmm. for everyone.
Are you, having conversations with the big institutional players, the incumbent multi-billion-dollar funds who might be on and are adding crypto strategies? That must be quite a long RFP process with them and going. They must be really looking under the hood, but taking a lot of time. That's in play.
Yes. So I mean, the sales cycle, especially with the larger players, could be like 6 months to even a year. So a lot of due diligence that goes behind that, even as a service provider, a lot of due diligence, a lot of testing behind the quality of the execution. But the good thing about our offering is it's essentially it's more raw in nature. So customers have the flexibility to, because it's self-hosted, they have the flexibility to build their strategy around it. They have the flexibility to build their own optimal execution algos around our offering. So we're just providing the infrastructure, so to speak, and like the plumbing that they need to connect to these trading venues and the speed to do it. But any alpha generation strategies, any other complex algorithms that they want to input into these algos, they're able to do through our system. So it's been good positioning. Everything takes time, but it's all for good.